We now bring in our buddy Anson Carter, helping cover the NHL Cup Final for NBC. Joins us on MSG 150 Speed Dial, presented by Files by Verizon. And Anson, I got to tell you, your birthday's tomorrow night. Game 5 is tomorrow night. There is a lot of concern about your ability to prepare for tomorrow night's contest.
What are you saying? First of all, I thought I'd dress up for you guys. Last time you guys had me on, I was wearing a white tee. Well, now I'm trying to, grow up a little. I got a black tee on for you guys today.
Don't duck the question.
He's going V-neck, and clearly, housekeeping has not made it to the hotel room yet.
Listen, guys, I know it's Vegas, but whatever happens in Boston stays in Boston.
Is there some possibility you have celebrated your birthday maybe a little bit too early?
Wow.
No, there's no such thing. I've got birthday week, BP. You should know this better than anyone else. I've got the birthday weekend. My daughter's birthday is 3 days after mine.
That's
so
great.
After my birthday passes, my celebrations get shut right down. So take full advantage of it.
All right, so we are at 2 games apiece. Big story here, Zdeno Chara. If he can't go for Boston, if he only misses 1 game or 2 or whatever it may be, what might that mean to the outcome of this series?
This is a massive loss. Like you saw when he got hit with that shot from Braden Shen. It was pretty scary because that puck never lost any velocity. It rolled right up Big Z's stick and hit him square in the face. And you see the impact when it bounces off his face. The puck goes flying. It hit him full-fledged. So the Boston Bruins have done a really good job so far the regular season with the patchwork defensemen. You've seen Miller come in. You've seen Grizzly play extra minutes. Now they've got Connor Clifton coming up. McAvoy's going to play more minutes. Torrey Krug. They've done it for the regular season, but the Stanley Cup Final is a wholly different animal. I expect to see Brandon Carlo play a lot more minutes. Carlo's been solid in the PK so far for the Boston Bruins. They're going to have to up his minutes now over the course of 60 minutes. It's going to be a big hole to fill if Big Z can't play.
And he's a big part of their penalty kill, and that's really been the issue for the Blues has been scoring on the power play. Is it good? You think it'll make that big of a difference?
I think so. I went and talked to the guys today at the rink about that. Like, their power play has been awful. They might as well decline penalties. It just sucks the life out of the building. You should see at the Enterprise Center, they go in the park, the fans are pumped up. They can't wait for something exciting to happen, and then they go out there and lay an egg.
Right.
It's just a terrible feeling. It was awful. So having Big Z out of there, I think that'll open things up, especially those high traffic areas, the danger zones in front of the net where Big Z hacks and whacks and cross-checks you, makes life difficult for you as an opposing player. I think guys will come out there with fewer ice bags after tomorrow night's game if Z's not able to go for the Bruins on the power play.
Speaking of Z, just going back to that play, have you ever experienced anything close to that? That's square right on the chin. It broke his jaw, but, have you ever taken a puck to the face like something like that?
I have, believe it or not. When I played in Edmonton, we played against Carolina. I was in front of the net, and Tom Poti, who actually played with the Rangers with me as well, Potty shot a puck from the point, and it went off of Robbie DeMaio's stick in front, and I didn't see it to the very last minute. And then I saw the NHL signal slowly rotating as the puck came towards my face, and all I could do was turn for a split second, and it caught me in the corner of my eye, hit me in the eye. And the first thing I think about is go and get stitched up, and I told the doc, no freezing. Whatever you guys do, just zip me up, Rambo style, no freezing, because I knew if I was to get freezing, the freezing adds swelling, and I couldn't go out there and play. But what does that team doctor do? He freezes me, and within 30 seconds, my eyes swelled up like this. I looked like I went 12 rounds with Rocky, and I couldn't play. I was so upset. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to strangle the guy.
Well, no, you're no worse for the wear now. You're still beautiful.
You're looking great, Anson. You're
still looking good, right, guys?
But you know what, though? But that's a story, though, about hockey players right there, and it just shows you. Chara comes out, same attitude as yours. He's got the full face shield on the bench, knowing he can't play, but I need to be out there with my teammates for the rest of this game. That clearly shows something to the rest of that group. Obviously, he's a leader of that team, but it says something about that to come out and say, I can't play, but I'm going to be here for the boys.
It does, Alan. I know you cover hoops as well as you love hockey, too, and that would never happen in the NBA, right? You watch NBA and guys
Pierce got taken off on a wheelchair when he had a little ankle sprain.
They're nowhere close. You don't see the guys in the bench supporting their team. That's another thing that makes hockey players so unique. Big Z probably couldn't even talk with his jaw being in the state that it was in. But he was out there tapping the guys in the shoulder pads, tapping the guys in the pads, offering some sort of inspiration to the guys in the bench because he wanted to be around there and be that emotional leader that he is for that hockey club.
Anson, has been a very physical series. Also, how come there's always seems to be a lack of momentum? Bruins win big in Game 3. Blues bounce right back in Game 4. Talk about the physicality and also the lack of momentum, it seems, as a theme.
it's fun to watch. The former player watching, it's awesome. Like, these aren't small hits. It's not for the faint of heart either. Guys are getting blown up on the ice.
Look at this.
It isn't just separation. They're trying to decapitate each other out there. And it's, kill or be killed, which is fun to play in, believe it or not. It looks dangerous. I'm sure my parents had heart attacks when I played in games like this. But this is fun hockey to play in because you know that it's going to be physical, it's going to be tough, it's going to be aggressive. And, you want to be in those physical confrontations. You don't want to be in the bad side of those hits. But if you have a guy with his head down, you certainly want to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and the officiating is kind of allowing it too, isn't it? They're calling what they have to call, but there does seem to be the sense of, all right, we got two teams, a lot of big boys on these teams, let them have at it.
Well, and Craig Berube's kind of sneaky as a former player, a little gamesmanship. He was talking about before that last game. It's kind of interesting with the least penalized team coming to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now all of a sudden, at just under 3 penalties a game, now we're getting 5 minutes or 5 penalties called against us per game. Like, what's going on here? I'm not saying the referee has us targeted, but I am kind of saying it without saying it. It's almost like he's saying yes, but he's like shaking his head but saying yes.
You're talking about the Blues' problems on the power play, but they're also, as you just touched on, they've been in the penalty box too much.
Yeah. They have. They did a better job last game, only taking 2 penalties of staying disciplined and not taking those penalties. Like, you can't afford to allow that lethal Boston Bruins power play to get going. Boston's top line of Pasternak and Bergeron and Marchand have struggled 5-on-5. That's where you want to keep the game, 5-on-5. You can't allow those guys to gain that extra advantage with an extra man to have that time and space because they've been whipping that puck around the offensive zone, going east-west. And poor Bennington has had a hard time making those saves because the goalie opens up those pads. If Valley is here, he would tell you go east to west. The goalie has no chance to make those shots.
Yeah, Royal Road and all the other things that Valley would say.
Whatever else he makes up out there.
Well, speaking of Bennington, though, isn't it incredible how he bounces back? That was even though a couple of deflection goals, terrible performance by him in Game 3, a painful one for him, obviously, because he was pulled, and nobody wants that to happen in your own building. But for a rookie goalie, what is he, 7-2 now after losses? The way he bounces back is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's almost like he's Teflon. Yeah, he's a rookie goalie, but Al, you got to remember he's 25 years old. He's not a young kid, 18, 19 years old. He's played in the East Coast, played in the AHL, he's played in the OHL. He's played every single level of hockey you could think of except for the National Hockey League. And I've seen enough of his game and seen his mental makeup that nothing's going to faze this guy whatsoever. He could play a game where he's not on top of his game, and he'll bounce right back. I thought when he lost that game 7-2, a lot of those shots were deflections. I couldn't fault him on any of those shots. Maybe Corrales, but he was also screened by Pietrangelo. So if you're going to get beat on goals that are deflections, you got to tip your hat to the opposition. There wasn't too many clear-sighted shots that Bennington led in where I was like, wow, this kid's showing his inexperience. The St. Louis Blues are in trouble. That hasn't been the case so far in this series, or the whole postseason for that matter.
Anson, you the man. Happy birthday, pal.
Happy birthday, AC.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what? When I get back to the city, I expect dinner on BP. Not so much you, Alan, because I know you're willing to pay, but BP
is
those alligator arms.
Alligator arms.
Make sure he forks over some
Yeah,
dinner.
buddy, we got to get the jaws of life to get his
is
Alligator
totally.
Arms.
You
Your
know
favorite
that's
team's
not
probably
true.
The Raptors,
All
BP.
right.
Do you like the Raptors? Alligator arms.
All right. No birthday present for you.
We got you.
Great to talk to you.
Awesome. Good seeing you guys.
All right. He's the best. For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.